Look at this skyline. The common assumption is that these towers were built on an endless ocean of oil, but oil accounts for less than 1% of Dubai's economy. Dubai functions as a tightly managed firm. The Maktoum family sits at the peak, acting as a board of directors with the kind of absolute executive power found in a private conglomerate. In the 1800s, there was no master plan. Dubai was a nameless settlement on the edge of an empty desert. The people lived in palm huts, surviving entirely on dates, fish, and the seasonal luck of pearl divers. Transforming that barren stretch of sand into a global power required a total monopoly on decision-making. Before the first stone could be laid, the family had to ensure no internal rival could challenge their trajectory. In 1833, power was consolidated through a single, violent stroke. A ruler named Khalifa invited his rivals to a wedding feast, then had them cut down inside their own tents. The surviving Al Bufalasa branch fled north to a small creek, establishing what would become the independent port of Dubai. A century later, a new threat emerged from within. A council of powerful merchants, the Majlis, demanded a share of the ruler's power. They wanted control over taxes and trade, aiming to transform the family's absolute rule into a shared governance model. During a royal wedding in 1939, the struggle ended. Gunfire broke out, and the leaders of the Merchant Council were assassinated. By the following morning, the reform movement had been entirely dismantled. With the Merchant Council gone, the family removed the final check on their authority. There was no longer a need for consensus or committee debate. If the ruler saw a market opportunity, he could commit the city's entire treasury to it in a single afternoon, allowing Dubai to move with a speed that democratic states could never match. They tested this centralized power in 1894. Watching trade drain away to rival ports, Sheikh Maktoum abolished all customs duties. He turned the entire city into a loss leader, absorbing the lost tax revenue to poach every merchant in the Persian Gulf. Then a disruption arrived from Japan. A scientist named Kokichi Mikimoto perfected a way to grow pearls artificially. This chart shows the collapse of a centuries-old economy. As the supply of cheap Japanese pearls hit the market, the value of natural Gulf pearls vanished. Dubai's only real industry disappeared almost overnight, leaving its ships docked and its workers in debt. To save the city, Sheikh Rashid executed a high-stakes pivot. In 1959, he borrowed £400,000, a staggering sum for the time, to dredge the silted creek and allow larger cargo ships back into the city's heart. This new deep-water access fueled a massive gold trade. Merchants legally imported gold bars from Yap, then loaded them onto wooden dhows to be moved secretly across the Arabian Sea into India, bypassing strict import bans. By treating geographical limits and market crashes as problems to be engineered away, Dubai survived. They replaced lost natural resources with a system built for speed and trade. When oil was discovered in 1966, the reserves were modest. Instead of relying on a steady stream of petrodollars, Dubai treated the oil revenue as corporate seed funding. They used the cash to build infrastructure that could survive once the wells ran dry. In 1979, they opened the Jebel Ali port, the largest man-made harbor on the planet, designed to anchor global shipping routes in the desert. 6 years later, they launched the Jebel Ali Free Zone. It was a business environment with no corporate taxes and no local partner requirements, allowing foreign companies 100% ownership. This regulatory vacuum pulled in capital from across the globe. Corporations from the US, Europe, and Japan moved their regional headquarters into the zone to take advantage of the lack of friction. The free zone proved that a city could generate immense wealth without any natural resources at all. By removing the costs that slow down global business, Dubai made itself an essential node in the global economy. When Sheikh Mohammed took command in 1990, he began pushing the city past its regional roots. He stopped viewing Dubai as just a port and started treating the city's image as its primary product. State-owned companies began borrowing tens of billions of dollars to build projects designed to grab global headlines, like the Palm Jumeirah, a massive artificial archipelago that functioned more like a marketing campaign than a standard real estate development. That growth was built on a mountain of debt. When the 2008 global financial crisis hit, the credit markets that Dubai relied on suddenly froze. This chart shows the scale of the crisis. By 2009, the state-owned Dubai World announced it couldn't repay $26 billion in debt. With no way to settle its liabilities, the entire city-state sat on the edge of bankruptcy. Abu Dhabi stepped in with a $10 billion bailout. This capital injection stabilized the city's finances and prevented a total collapse of the Maktoum family's economic engine. To acknowledge the rescue, Dubai renamed the world's tallest building, originally the Burj Dubai, to the Burj Khalifa, honoring the ruler of Abu Dhabi who funded the recovery. The Maktoums built a city by ignoring the traditional rules of nation-building. They treated their territory as a corporate asset, utilized centralized power to move faster than their rivals, and proved that a city can invent its own